Okay, so here we are again. I'm here just for half a day this time, and I'm just trying to get that forward section of the boat ready for the internal glassing. So as you can see with the aft section, this is all nicely dry. It's all glassed on the inside now. This is all ready for sanding and then painting. And once it's painted, it can then actually go in the water. So just trying to get the front section to the same stage, but it's a bit more complicated because there's a few more things going on in there. I need to get the mast base finished off, and I need to get the forward buoyancy tank lid glassed in place. I glued that in place last time, so I need to take the nails out and then just sand that down and then put some glass tape around the edges. And then the same with the centreboard, that needs some glass tape as well. So the thing with the glass tape is that needs probably 36 hours, a couple of days to dry, to go off, to cure properly. Once that's cured, I can then sand that down and I can then start the internal glassing. It would be nice also to get the mast step in place. So last time I was here, I glued that in position. So one of my first jobs today is to sand that down, take off the dam that I build around it. And I also then need to put the mast base, which is, so there's the mast foot, which is in the bottom of the dinghy, which has been set on into the V at the bottom. And once that's sanded, then I can think about getting this little block in place. So this is where the mast is going to sit, and that's going to hold the mast in position. Whereas the other one is just flat. The mast will sit on it, but it will, and this will glue onto that, and this will stop the mast from moving around. But I really need to get the boat set up outside so that I can get this positioned correctly, so the mast is vertical, because there's not a lot of gap between the lower and the bottom mast supports. So the mast collar at the top and then this block at the bottom. So that's going to be directly below the mast collar hole. And if that's a tiny bit out, just by an inch, well, not an inch, but let's just say 1/8 of an inch, then at the top, it's going to be like 2 or 3 inches out, and it'll be a slight lean, either forwards and backwards or side to side. So I really want to get the mast in the boat while I get this put into position, and then I'll screw that down. But today's raining, so I'm not going to be able to do that today. But not to worry, I can do some more work on the rudder and the centreboard, and I can still get this sanded down to a nice shape, because that is a little bit wonky from where I've cut it. And I can sand off this excess glue where it's been glued together. So that's it. I also got a delivery. I've been buying some things. I bought a rounded rasp so that I can actually rasp the inside of the holes, just to make it slightly more comfortable to get the mast in there. And what else have I got? Oh, more gloves, of course, for the epoxy work. Some more rollers for the painting when I get around to that. Some more sanding pads for my mouse sander, which I might be using today. And I've got some more brushes for the painting, and I've also got some foam tipping pads. So the idea is that if once you paint or roller on the paint, you tip it with these pads, and that just makes a proper nice finish. So that's good. And I've also got the fibreglass tape. That's what I'm going to need to use today, because I ran out. And also I have these Rolocs. So basically what's going to happen is that's going to sit on here somehow, about there. So that's going to be screwed onto the whole side, and then that pop inside, and that'll make it into a rowing boat. So these are only plastic, but they were like about £10 for a pair. If you want to go brass, then you're talking £80, which is a lot of money. So yeah, I'll look at trying to get those fitted in position at some point as well. But not today. So, right, let's get cracking. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll give you a quick summary of what I've done. So done a lot of sanding, sanded down the Mastfoot, so that's the kind of flat piece that I put in with some filler pieces underneath it to make up the V shape, and I made a little dam and I filled all that with epoxy and I put this flat piece on top, and I've sanded all that down now so it looks reasonably neat. And I've also sanded down this Mastfoot, which is really going to be where the mast sits inside the hull. I drilled a couple of holes, put a couple of screws in, and they're almost coming through. So the idea is that when we get the boat outside, we can put the mast in and put that on the bottom and give those screws a little tap with a hammer, nip them down, and that gives me a chance to make sure the mast is straight, and I can then move that either forward slightly, backward slightly, or side to side until the mast is perfectly vertical. Then I can tighten those up. Then I can take the mast out, and wherever that then sits, I can then glue that in position and screw it in. And then the boat will be ready for, the forward section will be ready for its inside covering with epoxy, and then the whole boat will be covered with epoxy. But before I can do that, the other thing that I had to do today was just tape up the sides of the forward deck, so they're now taped, and also the daggerboard case, so the bottom and the rear of that have now also been taped as well. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces of tape. I also did a little bit of work with the rudder, but nothing much to report on. So right, well, that's it for another episode. So if you've enjoyed it, then please do give me a thumbs up. Cheers, and see you next time.